Judith and I will be teaching a course on Freud and Judaism. I don't have much anxiety about that. A few weeks after that, I'll be teaching a course in Jewish life in South Park. And that should be positively exhilarating. But in anticipation of tonight, speaking with you tonight, I must confess I do have anxiety. In so many ways, so much rests on. And it didn't get easier this afternoon. I got a call from our son, Max. And he said, Dad, could you email me your speech? And do it early, so if you have to rewrite it, you'll be okay. About 20 minutes later, I get a call. He says, it's good. I think the delivery will make it work. These are the thoughts that really started with the Havdalah, that special Havdalah for Rosh Hashanah that occurred in our house after that second day. Because it came not with the candle and the spice, but it came with our kids getting in the cars, the trains, and the planes to go back to school. Suddenly, Barbara and I felt really empty. We stood at the door as Max and Gabi Kula and Jamie Landau would be away at college together for the first time. So it was comforting the next day when Shana called, bubbling about how great Rosh Hashanah at home was. She had been together with her old friends who came in from St. Louis and LA, New York and New Haven, Ann Arbor and Miami. Now they're old enough to reminisce about their childhood. They're playing cards all night at camp on Shavuot. Now they appreciate how special their Aitz Hayim experiences have been. Then she told me about her Jewish studies class, American Jewish Identity. That day, they discussed the federations. While most kids expressed resentment towards fundraising, Shana talked about the effectiveness and the camaraderie that came with card calling. In almost every session of this class that explores the evolution of American Jewish life, someone was mentioned who had stayed with us or had presented at Aitz Hayim. I knew she really absorbed Erwin's ideas when she added, at first I was excited to participate in class, talking about my personal experiences. Then I started to wonder, was I becoming one of those obnoxious people who only sees things from their own perspective? Maybe I better think about the issues more abstractly before I know everybody they're talking about. Wouldn't it be unnecessary bragging to start my comments with, when my mom made soup for Abba Eben? I was surprised, though, and really I got worried when she called the next morning at 9 a.m. I never hear from the kids that early. She was almost breathless. She said, we were talking about synagogues today. We're going to be talking about synagogues today, and I was doing the assigned reading. The first paragraph sounded familiar. I scrolled down. Steve Silverman wrote it. It was about the founding of Aitz Hayim. It was the assigned reading. We're now, as far as I know, she said, the third university that's teaching about Aitz Hayim. You can easily guess why I'm telling you this story. I'm proud. I'm pleased that my daughter was proud. And I want all of you to share in our pride. But that interpretation is inadequate, unless, as Erwin says, it leads to another question. What is that pride protecting me from? What is it guarding against? What challenges do we have to face? We are a community that is known and recognized, but that is not enough. To be a valuable Jewish community, we must move ahead. We cannot be stifled at one level of development. We are proud we march as a community in the 4th of July parade. We are comfortable passing out American and Israeli flags. But then how do we avoid becoming ethnocentric? This year, next month, at Jewish Social Action Month, our Aitz Hayim project will be to saturate our communities with posters to end the genocide in Darfur. We will join with the American Jewish World Service and the Save Darfur Coalition to alert the world not to sit idly by. Recently at Aitz Hayim, investigative reporter Nathaniel Popper presented powerful evidence that the largest kosher slaughtering plant in America shamelessly mistreats its workers. Don't we have a responsibility every month to make certain that Jewish eating should reflect the Torah values of respect for the dignity of every worker? This year, we've celebrated some B'nai Mitzvah in the most meaningful and extraordinary ways. We participated in completing an amphitheater for special needs children at Camp Henry Horner. At services held in a church in Evanston to accommodate children who do not travel on Shabbat, a father beautifully articulated the link between Torah and the American Constitution, between Moses and George Washington. And we listened with awe to a Haftorah, which chanted the holy story of one young man's living with ADD. Just yesterday, at Shabbat services, we wore caps to symbolize the mitzvah project of collecting caps to sustain children undergoing chemotherapy. In a few weeks, we will make Kiddush in the first sukkah ever erected at Bryn Mawr Country Club. We will integrate scouting as a carrier of Torah values, and we will tell the story of Greek and Jewish culture within a multi-heritage family. We celebrate families being open about both their birth and adoptive origins. Our B'nai Mitzvah program, utilizing the strengths of B'nai and Greta, has given us the resources to make this available to all of our families. These should not be exceptional B'nai Mitzvah. We have a responsibility to help every family get there. With every wedding, every family thinks they have unique problems. But they all worry that their non-Jewish guests will be uncomfortable and fear that their religious relatives will be offended. At Aitz Hayim, they all become happy. We fulfill Jewish law and tradition while stimulating personal expression and meeting individual needs. We need to develop a richer, fuller program to help young couples appreciate the value of Jewish living as they face their lives together. For too long, even at Aitz Hayim, the fullness of Shabbat has been limited by the form of services. No matter what little innovations we've added, services remain services. This year, we will create a monthly Shabbat morning experience focusing on Israeli documentaries that enrich us with the creativity and the challenging introspection of Israeli society. Our first will be on October 20th. Zmani, It's About Time. It's an award-winning film featuring Jewish versus secular time, Middle Eastern versus Western time, immediate versus long-term. Shabbat ought not to exclude the majority of our community that is not into regular davening. Frankly, developing our new education initiative has proven more difficult and taken longer than we hoped. First, we created the Jewish Living Planner. Then we organized peer groups. B'nai is now working with 5th graders through high schoolers. And Susan Ellenby is working with younger children, the younger children groups. This year, we will expand family training. In addition to Ruth Friedman's course on Jewish books for children, B'nai will meet with the families of younger children. We are now ready to set up the meetings with Jewish living coaches.